Hi, everyone. My name is Joe LaGilia, and on today's episode of Not Your Average Joe, we're talking with percussion expert Adam Hill. I want to talk a little bit about how I actually came to meet you for the first time.
Okay.
And this is going to kind of bring everything full circle here. But Oakleaf Community Mortgage, when we launched our first kind of welcome to the community type party here over in downtown Plainfield, I got to meet you through AD3 Acoustic Trio. And I just wanted to kind of speak to you because first off, that band has meant so much to so many people in this community. It's brought so much joy. It's brought so much entertainment. It's connected people in so many different ways. And it's just the type of music, the way that I like to say it is, it's the type of music that every single person, whether you're 15 or 50 or older, everybody can relate. Everybody can connect on the same page. From a performance standpoint, I just would love to know, how has that journey, working with local artists, coming together for, small town to big level performances, what has that meant to you?
It's really fun, especially how it started. Adam Domain, we're going to church together, and he just saw me playing at church, and he just asked, and I was like, yeah, man, sounds cool.
Like you said, sometimes things happen like that.
Yeah. Sounds cool. All right, cool. I'll do it.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so we started doing the thing, but the funny part about it is that we didn't rehearse. We showed up at a bar in Joliet, downtown Joliet, little bar, got on stage. There was a list of songs, and there was a list that Adam thought he sent me, but he didn't send me. I mean, I was just like, man, I'm just gonna go and play grooves. I'm like, we'll make it happen. I mean, everybody's good,
right?
Whatever, it's gonna be.
By
fine.
the way, as a non-artist, I'm like freaking out over here, but I hear you. I'll take your word for it. Yeah,
it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried.
Yeah.
And we're sitting at the table, like we're there probably an hour before, set up, just talking through stuff, and he brings up something like, oh yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what we're playing.
That was the moment.
But what are we playing? I'll look it up right now.
Wow.
So sit at the table, pull up the phone, we go through the list, like the first few songs we're going to do for this first 30, 40-minute set. And looking through, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, John notes, this, that groove. Okay, cool. Okay, let's go. Just to get the groove. It was the first time. I don't know if there was really any nervousness. I mean, it was very the whole purpose of the group is to be simple but yet effective. Mm-hmm. And the effective part is just being able to improv and be tight, and because everybody was of quality, and
Absolutely.
And when you have people of quality, you can almost do anything off the cuff. Like just about anything, and which is really, really fun.
Yeah. That quote's, I'm putting that on a t-shirt.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah.
So we just did it, and then we got better.
Yeah. Well, it was such a moment, and I really speak from my heart when I say it was, our kind of celebration of Oakleaf being in the community, and you guys were the sound of the party, and it was something that I'll never forget. It was a moment for me. It was a moment for everybody, like you said, the original people who are part of Oakleaf. That moment of just having you guys play that music and the community coming together. It was really special. And you mentioned church, and I have to bring this up. It's such a gift, Adam, to go to our church here on Route 59, Community Christian Church of Plainfield, and to walk in and to see you behind that drum set, and just to know we're about to get rocked. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful gift that you give our community by serving at church. And I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't kind of ask a little bit of that journey of being connected to that as far as serving our community in that way.
Yeah, so that, when I first started playing drum sets, for people was in church. It was at Living Water Community in Bolingbrook. So that was a big part. And Ken Hansen he let me get on stage when I was 14 or 15 years old. After probably only playing for 1.5 seconds.
Right.
You know? And so he let me get on stage and play in the worship team, and I learned.
Yeah.
Like I learned how to kind of really play kit for, you know, church, or just literally in general. Like, yeah, I was playing a little bit in school, and I finally got into jazz band, and I got into pep band and those types of things. But like, for just someone to be like, well, yeah, I mean, we need another drummer, and I watched Jonathan was the drummer that played a while I was growing up a little bit, and so watched him, and he helped me, and just kind of went through that. So playing in the church is just something that's like just kind of always been there. Like I don't know if I could attend a church and probably not feel like I need to serve.
Adam, I got to tell you, I don't think you can attend a church and they won't let you not play. All right, let me just say that for the record. But yes,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So it would be very, very hard. So it's just I always think, you know, like when we do like bigger productions, like drum ensemble.
Absolutely. You know? And anybody that's connected with Community Christian knows what drum ensemble is.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And it's so fun, and while it is a lot of work, and we're organizing, we're bringing all this stuff into the building, but it's still like, you know, if it was anything else, I'd be asking like, well, yeah, I need to make this amount of money.
Yeah.
I like this work, this effort, you know, what I'm offering. But it's never not a thing, because I just feel like this is like the blessing. So it's just something that is just literally, it's just heart.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
Yeah, and it certainly comes through, and I love how you said that as far as sharing your gift. You know, and I guess when we talk about service, I would love to get into at this point in the interview about Pi Percussion, and talk about kind of what Pi Percussion offers, and kind of your passion behind it.
So Pi, originally known as Pioneer Indoor, when it first started. I started when I was 26 years old, and the goal, well, there's probably two goals. One was, this will be cool. Let's get a bunch of kids together and we'll drum.
See how it goes.
See how it goes.
Yeah.
But one of the missions was that in Illinois, we were definitely lacking a presence of percussion education. There were a couple other ensembles around. One that went around for a while, the late Jeff Hoke, he had an indoor group many moons ago, passed away a while ago, and that was part of it. And then we had, this just popped into my head, we had a group that my high school instructor, Jim Dietrich, he started, because we were so close in high school with all of our drum people. And so there was another, it lasted a few years, maybe 2-3 years. It was called PIMP, Percussion in Motion. Percussion in Motion Productions.
Love it.
That's what it was called.
Love it.
And we loved it because PIMP was a part of our regular vernacular back in.
Right.
Oh, we're so idiots.
Yeah, but you were bringing something positive to it.
But we were bringing, Percussion in Motion Productions, and we showed up and we did it, and we went to a performance, and and then so for a while, like all that stuff had vanished for a long time. And then when I got hired at Romanville, I had a home, I had support, so started. Who was it? Me, Barb Bates, Alan Zweller, Matt Janis. Man, I could probably, hopefully, I'm no one to forget people. So, but I have those people in my head. And so we started. We got kids in. We got them dressed. We got them food. We did it. We went and competed at national level, and we won. Like that first year.
Wow.
We won. So there were 3 different. We were in A class beginning, and it was super cool.
Wow. What a moment.
Yeah, and it was like, well, that was cool, you know. So we kept on going, and in our second year again, we won again.
Wow.
World championships in that class, and then we're like, okay, we move up, and then we have to find some footing. We bring in new people, and just watching like this development of more collaboration. Like we're flying in other people to help us do this, but the purpose, I went forward, but I also digressed at the same time.
Yeah.
But the purpose was to build up more students in Illinois so that we could foster more education for all of the schools. So whereas to honestly, you know, we could go to a competition in Illinois and we would just be like, we're bad. We're bad. Like we have a handful of schools that are doing great because they have instruction, and other than that, we're kind of not doing very well. Sure. You know, when we would compare to some other surrounding states, you know, and just like I think we just got to do better. So that was a thing. So
you saw it. Yeah.
So by getting younger students, upper high school and college age kids into the ensemble, because you can only do it till you're 22 years old. That way, we're able to teach, foster, put a love into them. They're like, man, well, I'm not really done. Oh wait, we need somebody to teach our group. Yeah. We need somebody to teach our group. Wow. You want to make some money? Yes. and we just start placing all these kids that have either aged out or they're still in college, but now it's time for them to go. I'm like, I did it. Yeah. I was teaching high school when I was in college. I was running around like, you know, getting the hustle, making a little bit of money, having fun, like all that stuff. So it made sense to me. And I remember, you know, after several years had gone by and we would go to a marching band show, and I loved how many jackets we would see at a marching band show. Like, you're like, we did it, guys. Like, it is like
it's spread.
It's spread, yeah. You know. And then those kids starting their own groups. So now it's weird because we have these other groups that have started via kids from Pioneer Indoor or Pi. And so I didn't think about this then. So Pi right this year like is smaller than normal. A few reasons, COVID, but also now that there are other high school groups in the area, those kids can do that at their high school. But when they get done with that, then they can come with us. We're considered independent.
Right.
But when they get done, then they will have already been trained for several years. They can come into a higher level, and then it'll just keep on kind of regenerating itself like that. Over the last few years, this kind of goes into like something that I'm working on personally is like a sense of balance. So I have let many other staff members like take a lot of big reins and a lot of design and writing and making some bigger decisions because I think it's time for that, to where I can more executively direct, you know, make sure you have what you need. I'm going to tell you how I feel about this idea or that idea, and look at it as like a bigger picture, because it's also cool that those people that are running it were also members, some of them older high school students that have just done this big loop of progression through high school, musical and college, drum corps, the indoor, and now they're back like, man, I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah,
Right.
you go. And so that helps me to balance between like indoor, Bulls, family, friend, like all this stuff that I did not balance very well in the beginning. Like, because you're trying to work on this project so deeply that you do sacrifice some moments with friends and with family. They're like, I got rehearsal, you know, because we rehearse 7 to 10 on a Friday night, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday. Back then, I was eating Buffalo Wild Wings 3 to 4 times a day.
Right.
Like,
just finding it when you can. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
Okay, time to go. You know, and then we come back, and then we come back, and we just rehearsing, just trying to be the best we can. So now, it's a lot more delegation and letting the people that have this new vision, because I think it needs to happen anyways. Like, there's another new vision, and I think it's the best for the organization as a whole. And they're doing a freaking good job.
I love it. I have so many questions.
Okay.
because I love the global perspective that you provided, in the sense to say, you know, first off, you're fostering these kids, and I think you're creating this. You know, when you're talking, I'm thinking baseball farm system. You're creating this arbitrage of bringing into the community the support to have this thing last generationally, which I think is so significant. But I also, you know, and this to me is the most significant from what I heard. It's creating a pathway and a guidance towards, if this is a pursuit of your life, if you are pursuing this, there is balance that's going to be needed in your life. And we're going to make you aware of some things that are coming up on the road here as far as life balance, so that you understand how you can still pursue your dream, but also be able to have a fulfilling life. I just think it's beautiful. And I guess it begs the question for me, you know, that effort, right? That effort. Where does that motivation come from you to be able to pour into these kids with their love of music?
I think it's because I know that not every kid that gets taught by myself or people in my crew is not going to be a music major. And I don't want them to be. That's actually not the goal. And I've been actually probably preaching this more within the last few years. They need to take their knowledge that some kids are like high level. They're so good. I'm like most of the kids in my high school program are way better than I ever was in high school. Yeah. And I'm like, I can't, like, holy crap. Like, you're really good.
Right.
And so I want them to be able to say, if this makes you happy, there's no reason why you have to say, oh, well, I'm not going to be a pro. But you can have that does it make you happy? Yeah, I love doing it. Then I only see what the problem is.
Right.
If you want to be a mechanic and you're going to that trade school to be a mechanic, who says that you can't be in a percussion ensemble with friends, or play in a band with friends,
right,
or get together or play in church, or do something that keeps you happy? I mean, literally happy.
Yeah.
And maybe make some extra money.
Right.
Like, look at all of your options. You know, I had a kid come in, super talented. He's like, man, Mr. Hill, I think I might. I heard one of my friends from another school. He did the audition, and they're giving like a bunch of money, but he's not majoring in music. I almost threw something, bro. How many times have I said this to you? Yeah, go audition. Get $5,000 a semester because you have talent.
Right.
Nobody's telling you to do this for the rest of your life.
Right.
But if you have already invested, I mean, he's invested so much time. If you've already invested the time, like, it's there for you. It's easy.
Yeah.
All you have to do is try. There's no doubt in my mind that they're going to be like, oh, you're really good. Here you go.
Yeah.
For what? For something you've been doing for, since you're in middle school, for 8-9 years of your life already? Like, why not capitalize on that talent? And I think a lot of people just forget that they think that if they're not doing it professionally, they can't do it for funsies.
Right.
You can do whatever you want for funsies. You can play in a basketball league for funsies, a softball league, like, all these things are here. So I just think people they're cutting off their happiness.
Well, and I love how you said and how you shared how you try to pour into these kids to say, hey, listen, maybe the first 5-10 years from teenage to mid-20s, don't think that it's either or.
Right.
Just believe that sell out to the process and see where that takes you. And certainly some encouraging word took you to all these places across the globe, took you to London, and I just think I love the fact that I hear you saying, listen, we're doing this to be able to maybe step a little bit out of the way for the next generation to bring their creativity to the mix and just foster it and pour into it. Adam, I absolutely love it. I mean, you've answered so many questions without me having to ask them, which has been phenomenal. But, I guess when I think of all that you've done to this point in your life, 41 years old, just incredible. When you think of the next part of your life, tell me a little bit about what Adam sees in the future.
So, I guess there's a lot of parts. I think professionally, I'm trying to, I've always had in the back of my mind, if I get bored with doing something a certain way, I'm going to change that. Like, it could be something in school, like, I've been doing it that way for 5 years. I'm bored. And you know what? Like, those kids don't know that I've been doing it that way, but if I can change it and make it more exciting, it's going to, they're going to see that excitement more.
Amen.
It's just the way it works. So just change it. I'm hoping to keep on doing that. There's so many roads, that I've thought about. I think I skipped a whole bunch. Like, in my head, I'm like, well, let's see. I probably got 15, 20 more years of, like, teaching. Like, what am I going to do then? And after I don't have to wake up super early, I'm just going to go out and teach in clinic and judge and do things on my own schedule because it's fun. Passion. Yeah, it's just fun. So, so that's one thing. But this whole middle part right now, it's kind of like what I said before. I'm just trying to figure out the appropriate balance so that everything is done at a high level. But I am still healthy to be able to do them at a high level. That's great. Because right now, while I'm working on the balance, it's still like this. I'm still like, I didn't do that because I tried to do this and do that more. Like, this is where I'm at, While I think I do, like, I feel better because I know I'm putting the energy in the right place to help myself, because I notice that when I do that, I can make other things better. Like, it frees up my mind space and my emotional space a little bit more than being so heavy. Like, having people come to me when they need something, but I'm not having to handle the entire thing, is such, like, a helpful thing. And I think when you're a lot younger, you're afraid to lose the control and have somebody take away from what you have been working on. And in reality, it's probably really not like that, but it's really hard to see. Yeah. It's really hard to see, like, no, because if I let you do that, then that's going to get taken away. Well, it might end up being better, actually, because now you've relieved some stress, and now you have another side of collaboration. But when you're just so gung-ho to do it all. So
I love it.
I don't know, Joe.
I hear. Well, what I hear you saying is number one, what I'm taking from it, and I hope our audience is too, is that time is one of the greatest teachers.
Yeah.
And I also hear you saying that work-life service balance is something that you'll always be learning and always be changing and always be, fixing. And I think whether you are a musician who pours himself into every single area of his life for his love of music and his love of people like Adam Hill, or whether you're anybody else, that work-life service balance, we're all going through it.
Yeah, it's tough. I coached my son's basketball teams this winter. And I was just supposed to be an assistant.
That's usually how they get you.
I'm like, dang it. And somebody told me, he's like, dude, you're going to be head coach. I was like, don't say that. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. And so it happened.
Yeah.
But one of my biggest things was, I said, you know what? I have been pouring countless amounts of hours into other people's kids for so many years. I got to pour some time into my own kids.
So good.
But you know what the weird thing about it, like the twisted thing in my brain is? So the time that I'm now putting into like my kids with even just coaching, like, 1 hour a week for each team and then our games or whatever else we're doing around the house, like still in my head is, well, now like the kids, let's take the indoor kids. For Pi Percussion, those kids that I would normally spend like all day with, like I don't. And it's like a twist in my brain that's like, well, now I'm not really making any connections with those kids. And it messes with me a little bit because I was so like on hands with so many of the, like, I love going to a convention and I see kids that, now they're living in Texas or California now. We go to a convention and I see them and I'm like, it's open arms and hugs because it was like,
they're your kids.
Yeah, like we were close, on point every weekend for a stupid amount of hours and sharing things. So that's one thing that I'm trying to figure out how to still make that, happen. I just haven't figured it out yet without getting in the way of other things.
Well, I can promise you this: you will be a return guest, so we'll get that question answered. Adam, you were nominated because you are considered a real community hero. I know you're a hero to your family. You're a hero to so many friends. Your love for music and your passion for kids, their love for music, and just being a great guy for the community. All those reasons, it's clear of why you're a real community hero. But in closing, I want to ask you the question: who is your hero?
That's the hardest question in the world.
I'm just going to be quiet.
Oh, man. I don't know. I feel like there's so many possibilities. There's like, I feel like there's different heroes at different parts of your life.
Feel free to share.
I still don't know if I will be able to name people, but I'm going to try to narrow it down to something different that maybe people may not have thought of. Like, there's different heroes for different subject areas. Like, there's like maybe a hero that, like, man, this hero really taught me about patience. And this hero really taught me about kindness. This hero really taught me about how to be tough and still, like, love and do it the correct way. I don't know if I can answer that question.
Well, there's no wrong answer, and that's a beautiful answer. And I would just say in reflection to you, what a blessed life it is to have all those different heroes who've been a connection to you. Adam Hill, I just want to say thank you for being on the show.
Oh, this ball.
This has been amazing. As a friend of mine, this has been great to hear your story, unfiltered, unedited, and I'm so excited to share it with our audience. Just thanks for being a real community hero.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. I had a good time.
Absolutely. And thank you to our audience for tuning in to another episode of Not Your Average Joe, powered by Mortgage Message. Be sure to share this episode, tag someone, let someone know in your life that you love them. My name is Joe LaGilia. We'll see you next time, everyone. Take care.